Here are your Beyond the Gates spoilers for next week. Here's a look ahead at the episodes we'll see from Monday, December 8th to Friday, December 12th, 25. We kick things off with Marcel and Leslie having a conversation at the police station. Leslie says to Marcel, "Well, we do cross paths a lot. That has to mean something." Marcel replies with, "You're tempting fate, you know that?" Next, we see Marcel talking to his boss, the police chief Elon Hawthorne. Marcel tells Elon that Leslie has clocked him, and he had to change his approach and use the charm offensive to get her to let her guard down. Elon is unimpressed and tells the detective that it was still not the move to make. Danny Dupree is at the family mansion and talking to her father, Vernon. Vernon, always a smart one, wonders why Danny is there and gives her a curious look. Danny asks, "Can't a daughter drop by to see her beloved father without an ulterior motive?" Vernon takes a pause, looks at her again, and says emphatically, "No! Jacob and his wife Naomi have been through the roughest patch yet in their marriage, all because of a pregnancy test that gave a false positive. It had both of them examining their lives and what they wanted. Naomi remained adamant that she didn't want to be a mother, and Jacob was now looking at the situation with fresh eyes and how it would feel to be a dad, and he liked it a lot. This difference of opinion set the two of them on a path to many arguments and heated situations. Now we see Jacob leading Naomi into the bedroom, and the place looks amazing, with rose petals on the bed in a heart shape. Naomi is all smiles, and the two kiss. Things are certainly looking better. The day has arrived, and the community has turned out to celebrate at the Fairmont Crest Country Club. An exceptional guest performance by Kiki Wyatt has the guests all clapping and having a great time. To close out the next week's sneak peek, Hayley rushes into Bill's office and finds Bill collapsed and unconscious on the floor. If this isn't the doing of her poison, then this does not bode well for Hayley. Upon admission to the hospital, they'll run a full screen on Bill, and that could turn up evidence of a toxin or the effects that it has had on his body so far. This has got to be enough to freak Hayley out. Another big week, soap fans, as we get closer and closer to the end of the year, and some seriously big plot points. Hey babes, welcome back to Gossip Delight. It's your girl Daisy, and trust me, today's tea is scorching, steamy, and absolutely unmissable. Buckle up, because we're diving straight into the drama. Beyond the Gates spoilers for Friday, December 5th hint that Winterfest festivities kick off, and Anita Dupree will make a stunning announcement. So let's talk about what fans can expect from today's episode. There will be a flurry of activity surrounding the big gala, which has been talked about for weeks now. BTG viewers can expect to see Damone Roberts, the Beverly Hills eyebrows icon, well known for his eyebrow products and styling. In fact, he'll help the Duprees get ready for the event, so there will be some interesting moments as he interacts with everyone. Speaking of Winterfest, Leslie Thomas will do all she can to ensure that her daughter, Eva Thomas, has the perfect night with her father, Ted Richardson. With that said, does this mean she'll orchestrate some drama and chaos to make sure this happens? Meanwhile, Ted will also have a weird run-in with Thomas Navarro. Whatever the two gentlemen talk about will have Tomas running back to Catherine Cat Richardson with a big question. Could Tomas propose to Cat? Winterfest would be a perfect venue to do this, but Tomas and Cat haven't exactly talked about marriage, so will some nudging from Ted trigger the lawyer to take this next step? Ted was mighty territorial last week over Eva when he met Izaiah Hawthorne. Will he pull something similar with Tomas? Then again, Bill Hamilton recently noted that he wants all his partners at the firm to have stable personal lives, and as Tomas is eager to get promoted, will this spark an idea for him to propose to Kat? Elsewhere, Beyond the Gates spoilers for Friday, December 5th reveal that Jacob Hawthorne warns Izaiah Hawthorne. It sounds like Jacob may spot his little brother flirting with Hayley Hamilton at Winterfest and tell him to stay far away. However, will Izaiah listen? Lastly, Anita will share shocking news at the Winnery event. She received some test results from her doctor during the Thursday, December 4th episode, but did not reveal what the status was. Beyond the Gates spoilers suggest Anita may have a health battle up ahead, so viewers need to tune in to the December 5 show to see what the Dupree matriarch announces. Just when we thought daytime's newest soap couldn't get any hotter, in comes soap vet Greg Vaughn. And yes, he will be stepping into the role of Dr. Cale Rollins, whom viewers kinda sorta met at the end of the episode airing on Thursday, December 4th. Sure, we didn't actually see the handsome new member of the Garland Memorial staff, but that will all change when Nicole gets to know the man coworker Shanice is setting her up with. Fun fact, Vaughn had no idea the role he'd be stepping into when he was essentially forced into accepting by the soap's creator, Michelle Valjean. As he told us during an exclusive chat, the scribe knew who she wanted and wasn't going to take no for an answer. She said, "I'm gonna grab your wrist right now and twist it behind your back until you say yes." He laughed. When he asked what part he'd be playing, she refused to divulge details until he agreed. Or at least one detail, he'd be playing a doctor. That's all she gave me. Now we can reveal that his latest soapy alter ego is a traveling orthopedic surgeon. Although early reports indicated Dr. Rollins might be a bit of a player, Vaughn sets the record straight. He's more introverted. Days of Our Lives erstwhile, Eric revealed, adding that the doc is kind of like a sponge in this new environment, and as a professional, not necessarily looking for anything. But meeting Nicole could change all that. If there's a downside for viewers, it's that Vaughn's new role is, at least for now, recurring. "I'm not a contract player," he acknowledged, adding that he's had the support of everyone behind the scenes when it comes to creating this character. "It's kind of like the bar's been set, the energy's ready, get your popcorn, and let's make some magic." Beyond the Gates spoilers suggest that Hayley Hamilton is putting on quite the show for Izaiah Hawthorne, much like what she did with Bill Hamilton back in the day, when she convinced the married man to break up his family to be with her. Now BTGF fans know, without a doubt, that this was all a scheme so the gold digger could get richer. Hayley now has her eye on ending Bill for a $10 full life insurance policy. Will she convince Izaiah to help her? Beyond the Gates spoilers confirm that Izaiah is interested in Eva Thomas for a romance, but he's attracted to Hayley too. Still, she's married to Bill, so he knows she is off limits. Or so he thinks. Hayley is definitely trying to get to know Izaiah better, and the two have become flirty friends. Still, as they learn more about each other, Hayley may try and rope him in some sort of fashion. Right now, Hayley is working with her cousin, Randy Parker, to slowly poison Bill, but the entire plan isn't moving fast enough for her. Could she decide to bring Izaiah into the scheme? Of course, she couldn't just ask him for help to kill her husband off, so she'd need to manipulate him into doing it. Could she pretend to be an abused wife? Could she claim that Bill physically and emotionally abuses her? She may also claim that he keeps her isolated from the rest of the world, which would be a lie, but very believable considering Bill could fit that stereotype. Either way, Hayley fooled Bill once upon a time, and it looks like Izaiah is her next target. Will he ruin what he has going with Eva to pursue Hayley? This may end up being one of the biggest mistakes of his life. Will Hayley rope Izaiah into her scheme to kill Bill? Comment below, watch the CBS Soap Daily for all the Fairmont Crest drama, and visit CTS regularly for the hottest Beyond the Gates news, updates, and spoilers. Here's what went down Thursday, December 4th, 2025 on Beyond the Gates, when Kat's foot and mouth disease nearly derailed something altruistic. Marcel got a new assignment, and Tomas was forced to watch a tennis match. On Beyond the Gates, Anita went to Elon to find out if the department could spare anyone to keep an eye on Leslie at Winterfest, especially because Leslie had been harassing alleged victim Laura. Elon suggested Marcel. Anita demurred that it was hardly necessary to task a detective with being a watchdog, but Marcel was more than willing. At Garland Memorial, Leslie wheeled Peaches out of her room and into the nurse's station to give her a change of scenery. Leslie excitedly talked about Christmas, but Peaches, who had her mouth covered with an oxygen mask and had to write any responses on a whiteboard. When Dr. Wilkes reported that Peaches would be starting her clinical trial within the week, Peaches scrawled that she was going to die anyway. Wilkes privately asked Leslie if there was anyone whom Peaches could talk to besides her. Leslie realized Wilkes had a psychiatrist in mind and got an idea. Nicole struggled with getting her Winterfest speech done before the event the next day, then took a call from Carlton, who was no longer able to take Nicole to the gala because he had to fly out of town on a family emergency. Shanice entered with a wallet that one of Nicole's patients had left in the washroom and listened to Nicole's lament that, by going to Winterfest solo, everyone would be commenting about that divorced Dupree daughter. Shanice offered to set Nicole up with a blind date, but Nicole was hesitant. However, Shanice texted the man in question just to get the ball rolling. Anita popped into Nicole's office, having come to Garland for test results relating to her earlier physical. It turned out Anita's bone density was at a good level. Anita quipped that aging wasn't for cowards. As Nicole declared that Dupree women could handle anything, Leslie showed up at the door. Anita was ready to call security, but the desperate Leslie told Nicole that Peaches was giving up, and since Nicole had helped her when she had been ready to leap off a ledge, Nicole told Leslie not to go there, since Leslie had only been faking that incident. Leslie acknowledged Nicole's distrust of her, and when Nicole offered to refer Peaches to a therapist who specialized in terminally ill patients, Leslie humbly said she wanted Nicole to treat to her surrogate mom. Peaches wasn't like her, Leslie assured, and she owned her selfish need to keep Peaches around longer. Nicole acquiesced, and after she took Peaches into conference alone, Leslie eavesdropped at the door. Peaches wrote that doctors lied, and she wanted to know if Nicole and Dana were friends. Nicole unequivocally said that status couldn't be further from the truth. When Nicole added that Leslie specialized in testing everyone and asked if Leslie had always been like that, Peaches nodded vigorously. Richardson extolled the virtues of the clinical trial and added that Peaches deserved the help after the challenges of raising Leslie. Peaches laughed behind her mask and seemed to agree when Nicole advised her to let Leslie spoil her. Nicole invited Leslie into the room and announced that Peaches had consented to the clinical trial. Leslie was overjoyed and thanked Nicole profusely, but Nicole said she hadn't counseled Peaches to help Leslie. She had done it for Peaches and Eva. Later, in the hallway, Marcel walked by Leslie, cracking, "Haven't I seen you somewhere before?" After the cop explained that he had come by to visit a fallen comrade, Leslie explained a little about Peaches. Marcel suggested that he and Leslie would cross paths again in the future. Meanwhile, Nicole was annoyed to learn that Shanice had texted her potential blind date. Shanice simply wanted Nicole to make an informed decision, and the daughter seemed to perk up when Shanice introduced her to the arriving, off-screen Dr. Rollins. Kat and Tomas were on a double date at Uptown with Chelsea and Madison, talking about how wonderful their Thanksgiving getaway had been. Madison griped that she should never have let Chelsea anywhere near her mother Willow. Chelsea claimed she had been the perfect guest, but Madison was incensed that Chelsea had endorsed Willow's anti-Western medicine ideas, which included the mind influencing the body and disease being caused by bad karma. Kat would only say that she knew what it was like to be the person that no one believed, and took off, leaving Tomas to referee between the arguing girlfriends. Tomas sat uncomfortably as Madison railed that Chelsea didn't trust her enough to handle her own mother, and Chelsea couldn't make sense out of the problem Madison had with the woman. Finally, beating a hasty retreat, Tomas told the women that they could either be right or they could be happy. Once alone, Madison expressed her hurt that Chelsea had sided with Willow instead of standing up for her. Chelsea winced when Madison said she was cut from the same cloth as Know-It-All Bill, and Madison left after insisting that she had made her escape from Willow and that she wasn't going to let Chelsea bring her back. At Orphe Jean's, Samantha was greeted by the person she had called, Eva. The teen appreciated that Eva had never talked down to her and sheepishly asked her elder for money. Eva assumed Samantha would only need $20 or $40, but Samantha said the amount would run in the thousands. Samantha told Eva about her idea to establish a free clinic based on the fact that June hadn't had access to healthcare while living on the streets. Eva confirmed that Leslie had given financial assistance to one of Ted's patients and was impressed to see that Samantha had already worked out a plan, which she hoped would even free up Garland's ER. Eva realized a clinic would be a huge undertaking, but told Samantha that she'd have a talk with Leslie about it. As they discussed birth control being one of the clinic's services, Kat approached and growled that Eva was the last person Samantha should be going to for advice on that topic. Samantha tried to explain, but Kat accused their barely there relative of trying to win points by using a high schooler. Samantha told her adoptive aunt that she wasn't in a competition. After Eva left, Kat continued to rail against Eva. When Samantha finally got a word in, she told Kat that she hadn't been raised to be mean and that Kat had almost ruined her attempt to do something important. When Kat heard about the clinic, she was genuinely remorseful for interfering. Samantha called Kat out for making assumptions based on the 2 words she had heard and remarked that Kat was no longer the person who had gone out of her way to make her feel welcome when her dads had first brought her into the family. Kat seemed chastened when Samantha said she wanted the old Kat back. Madison returned to duty at the hospital and ran into Tomas, who hoped she and Chelsea had smoothed things over. Dr. Montgomery admitted she felt lost over being so out of sync with Chelsea. Tomas could relate, having been there with Kat. Navarro said that he and Kat were now aware of what they had almost lost and hinted that it was just a matter of Madison knowing Chelsea's heart. Anita quickly answered the troubled Chelsea's summons. The matriarch was attentive as Chelsea went over her Thanksgiving at the Montgomerys and how she'd found the admittedly quirky Willow nice. Chelsea thought she had been doing the right thing in trying to bring Madison and Willow together, but it was Anita's contention that her granddaughter had gone about things all wrong. She relayed how, during her first Christmas with Vernon's family, she had wanted to approach his Aunt Melba, despite his warning that the family didn't get along with her. Once Anita had seen how uneasy everyone was with Melba, Anita had taken the cue and respected Vernon's feelings about the woman. "I don't get it," Chelsea said, unable to see why Madison and Willow couldn't connect. "It's not for you to get," Anita replied. She knew Chelsea's heart had been in the right place, but the only thing that was important is that Chelsea made sure Madison knew her heart. Anita makes a critical move, Leslie seeks help, Samantha's family talk heats up, and Chelsea and Madison turn to surprising support. On the Thursday, December 4th, episode of Beyond the Gates, the spoilers focus on Anita Dupree, who goes to Elon for police assistance. Meanwhile, Chelsea and Madison are struggling, and Samantha has an interesting chat with her aunts. It's unclear whether this conversation will end well. Needing and seeking help is a major theme in Thursday's episode. This time of year is super busy for Anita Williams Dupree. She has to somehow throw together a gigantic event like Winterfest. Thankfully, she has Laura on her side. Anita's unofficial duties include serving as a mediator, therapist, and advisor to her family members. Something else that's on her plate? She has to keep an eye on Vernon, who has secrets. According to the weekly spoilers, Anita goes to Elon for police assistance. Does this have to do with Winterfest or Leslie? Perhaps she wants to join in on protecting Martin from Joey Armstrong at all costs. What would cause Anita to pay a visit to her friend, the police chief? Danny is on her best behavior these days. Leslie Thomas is all about being in everybody's face until she needs something. On Thursday, Leslie needs Nicole's help, and it's a matter of life and death. This must have something to do with Peaches, who is very ill. Exactly what does Leslie need from Nicole? The teaser suggests that we're about to witness a potentially problematic discussion. An exchange between Samantha and her aunts causes quite a stir. If this conversation involves Samantha's aunts, it means we're about to get another interaction, confrontation, or battle royale between Kat and Eva. Maybe Samantha can channel her grandmother and great-grandmother and help smooth the rough edges of this heated rivalry. It's either that, or the teen will be forced to act as a referee to keep Kat and Eva apart. Chelsea is fresh off a vegan-friendly Thanksgiving with Madison's family. While there, she probably tried to get Madison and her mom to mend fences. Hopefully, she didn't try to meddle too much, but something tells us that we're about to find out. Apparently, Chelsea and Madison are still struggling to see eye to eye, so they seek help from unexpected sources. That rules Anita out. So who do they turn to? And will their relationship survive? What soap fans need to know about John Lindstrom's visit to Port Charles? December has only just arrived, but the last month of 2025 has brought with it the return of John Lindstrom to General Hospital. Fans of the ABC soap haven't seen the actor make an appearance in Port Charles in a year. That's all changed with Kevin Collins' character stepping back into the frame on Tuesday, December 6th episode. Where does that leave Lindstrom's role as Joey Armstrong on Beyond the Gates? Here's what we know. BTG fans can rest easy. Lindstrom's return to Port Charles may delight GH viewers, but it doesn't mean he's exiting the CBS daytime drama. In an interview with TV Insider, the actor shared that when he told GH EP Frank Valentini that he was cast in BTG, he was offered the opportunity to have the door left open for Kevin to make appearances. While Port Charles is set in New York, it's actually filmed in Los Angeles, which wouldn't be a problem if BTG weren't filmed in Atlanta. This made the logistics of doing double duty very difficult. Lindstrom acknowledged that his appearances as Kevin had been reduced to about once or twice a month prior to taking up the role of Joey, so he didn't have an active story that needed to be written around. But that didn't mean he'd be available to do an episode here or there, given his schedule on BTG. This explains why it has been a year since fans last saw Lindstrom. However, when the GH team was able to work out a solution, he took them up on it. Kevin's return will be significant since GH is currently working through the aftermath of Professor Henry Dalton's death, which has seen Laura leaning on Sonny. Lindstrom said Kevin doesn't love that development, but he also understands it. Being the shrink that he is, he understands the value of human connection. As for whether the actor will be making periodic visits to Port Charles, that'll depend on his schedule. He shared, "I'll do GH anytime. I just don't know if we can work it out. I'm busier than I've ever been, and I thought I'd be retired by now." And Lindstrom is quite busy. There's no rest for the wicked, particularly not for Joey Armstrong. He doesn't exactly run a legitimate business, but Joey's style of earning money does mean he's often standing toe-to-toe with Fairmont Crest's movers and shakers. At the moment, he's crowing about having a senator in his pocket and juggling his various shady dealings. The role has the soap vet energized and raring to go for work. Lindstrom wants to be a part of BTG's growth as a new soap opera, so that's definitely the daytime drama that has his focus. Beyond the Gates spoilers for Thursday, December 4th, suggest a big blowout between Samantha Richardson, Catherine Cat Richardson, and Chelsea Hamilton, while Leslie Thomas turns to Nicole Dupree for help. There's going to be a flurry of activity in Fairmont Crest during Thursday's show, so let's get into it. First off, Leslie will be dealing with a life or death matter, so she'll reach out to Nicole for assistance. Is this about Shanice Johnson and Ted Richardson being stuck in the elevator? Leslie can feel the sparks between her ex and the nurse, which is why she's clashed with Shanice so often lately. Leslie might be desperate to save them, so nothing steamy happens. Then again, her adoptive mom, Peaches, isn't doing well, so perhaps if Leslie can't find Ted to answer her questions, she may turn to Nicole for help. Meanwhile, Chelsea will be a busy bee during BTG's December 4th show. It sounds like she and Kat will have a heated confrontation with Samantha. How badly will Kat and Chelsea lash out at their niece? Samantha threw them under the bus when she got in trouble for making out with Nathan on the family's couch. Samantha implied she got the idea from Kat and Chelsea when she overheard the two having some adult girl talk about their escapades in the bedroom. Martin Richardson lashed out at Kat, and things have never been the same between the siblings because of Samantha's statements, so Kat and Chelsea may give her a piece of their minds. With that said, Chelsea will also deal with some romance issues. She and Dr. Madison Montgomery can't seem to land on the same page where Madison's mom is concerned. Madison wants to break ties with her mother. However, Chelsea feels she should smooth things over. The women will turn to someone unexpected to help them with this conflict. So who will that be? Across town. Beyond the Gates. Spoilers for Thursday, December 4th. Note that Anita Dupree will meet up with Elon Hawthorne. The Dupree matriarch will request some police assistance. So what's this about? She may need help with keeping Leslie at bay, but as Winterfest is starting on Friday, December 5th, their talk could center around security for the big event too. Beyond the Gates spoilers hint that the Thursday, December 4th episode will be filled with fun, shocking moments, and a ton of chaos, so fans will have to tune in to see the direction certain storylines take. The Friday, December 5th. Spoilers for Beyond the Gates focus on Winterfest and all the drama, plot twists, and game-changing moments that come with it. Look for Anita to make a shocking moment. Leslie does whatever it takes to make this a magical night for Eva. And Tomas has a potentially life-changing question for Kat. We're all about to find out exactly what Anita, Laura, and the rest of the Duprees have been feverishly planning for the last few weeks. Winterfest begins, and with it comes special guest, beauty expert Damone Roberts, who helps the Duprees prepare for the event. What drama will go down at Winterfest? Hopefully, the secret involving Vernon and Sharon will be revealed at the holiday charity gala. Who knows what Leslie's presence will stir up? Additionally, Kat will likely take offense at Eva showing up as Ted's +1. But it's all going to kick off with Anita making a shocking announcement. Just how shocking are we talking? Could this be related to the health crisis mentioned in a recent BTG holiday preview? Leslie, who bulldozed her way onto the planning committee for Winterfest, has an extra incentive for being there. Obviously, now that she's filthy rich and has a house in Fairmont Crest, she feels she should be there. Second, the charitable aspect of the evening was inspired by her mother, Barbara. And now that Leslie is a part of the festivities, she wants to do everything in her power to give her daughter a magical night with her dad. Tomas also takes the festive opportunity to do something big. After an awkward run-in with Ted, Tomas has a major question for Kat. Will he pop the question? It could be a moving-in thing or a marriage thing. Tomas probably can't get that recent conversation with Bill out of his head. The one about wanting the partners and employees at his firm to be family-oriented, which could also be interpreted as being marriage-minded. Is this what's about to happen? In other news, Jacob issues a warning to his brother. If this isn't about their family drama, this could be about Izaiah's relationship with Eva. After all, getting close to Eva means her mother, Leslie, is in the picture, and that could bring about a level of drama he may soon regret. Beyond the Gates spoilers for the week of December worst fuff, hint that Anita Dupre will reach out to the police, while there's chemistry felt between Danny Dupree and Bill Hamilton when the two interact. In fact, the OG Hamiltons, Danny, Bill, and their daughters, Chelsea Hamilton and Naomi Hawthorne, will gather at the country club at some point next week. BTG spoilers tease that Danny and Bill will remember a spicy moment during their marriage, which leaves Chelsea and Naomi unsettled. Even the weekly preview shows a scene where Bill and Danny are joking around, and there's a certain sparkle in her eyes as she looks at her ex, so Hatch Team Bonnie fans shouldn't count these two out, despite her newlywed glow with Andre Rijkaardson. Meanwhile, as Bill and Danny feel sparks, Randy Parker and Hayley Hamilton will talk about their plan to end her husband's life. Hayley has been dropping poison in his tea, just a little at a time. So will she decide to speed the process up during the week of December worst 5? Back to Andre, he'll be approached by someone unknown to form an unholy alliance. Will it be Derek Baldwin? Will Derek hope that Andre can help him win back Ashley Morgan? Elsewhere, Chelsea and Dr. Madison Montgomery will continue to have issues, and it sounds like this has to do with Madison's mom and the doctor wanting to sever all ties with the woman. Regardless, the ladies will end up turning to someone unexpected for some assistance with their romance woes. Chelsea will also be involved in a family blow-up, as Beyond the Gates spoilers suggest that Samantha Richardson will have a heated exchange with both Chelsea and Catherine Kat Richardson. Kat and Chelsea will probably be a little upset that Samantha threw them both under the bus to Martin Richardson, so will these three be able to clear the air? In other news, June's past will inspire Samantha regarding something she has planned for her future. Across town, Eva Thomas will be pleasantly surprised when Izaiah Hawthorne makes a bold move. Will these two hit the sheets? Still, as Friday, December 5th rolls around, Izaiah will also receive a warning from Jacob Hawthorne. What could this be about? However, Jacob won't be the only one issuing warnings, as Vernon Dupree won't mince words when he gives Joey Armstrong a warning of his own. This very well could be about Martin, as Bradley Smitty Smith will also have a confrontation with Joey in an effort to protect his hubby. On to some fun BTG spoilers. Winterfest will kick off during the Friday show, so fans can expect a lot of talk about the big event and preparation. Anita will turn to Elon Hawthorne for police assistance, so is this to ensure security is top-notch at the festive gala? Or could she need to talk to him about something else? In addition, Anita will also make a stunning announcement at the party too. But Anita's news won't be the only surprise at Winterfest, as Damone Roberts, the best eyebrows guy, who was talked about by Danny and Anita during the week of November 24-28, will be on hand for the event and help the Dupree family prep for it. It looks like everyone's eyebrows will be in tip-top shape, and fans will likely enjoy the special guest as he socializes in the land of Fairmont Crest. Interestingly enough, Leslie Thomas will also be at Winterfest, working hard to ensure Ted Richardson and Eva have a special time. On the topic of Leslie, she'll have a life-or-death situation and turn to Nicole Dupree at some point over the next 5 days. Will her rival agree to help? Lastly, Ted and Thomas Navarro will share an awkward run-in. So much so, it'll prompt the lawyer to ask Kat a major question. Beyond the Gates spoilers tease that Tomas could ask Kat to marry him, considering the talk he had with Bill recently. So what will her answer be? Colby Muhammad steps into the spotlight as November's standout BTG performer, delivering a fiery month as Kat Richardson. This month, Beyond the Gates, Colby Muhammad dropped a video on Instagram. She felt the need to check on the Kat fans out there. At the time, it had been a rough week for Kat fans. But honestly, it was a rough month. Kat Richardson had to deal with a few blows as the co-owner of Chelsea Cat battled her brother, her half-sister, and even her dad. Additionally, her boyfriend was unhappy with her. But no worries, Kat doesn't back down. She perseveres, and that's all because of her portrayer's strength. And for that, Muhammad takes a step into the spotlight as BTG's Performer of the Month for November 2025. The only characters that have had more showdowns on BTG are Leslie and Danny. Kat is up there with them because she does not shy away from a good fight. Her arguments may be flawed, but she believes in them wholeheartedly and refuses to pivot, even when it would be the smart thing to do. Kat leads with passion, conviction, and an upscale attitude that can often transition into condescension. And in November, she had to go into battle on a regular basis. Samantha accidentally overheard Kat gush about her sex life with Tomas, and even though Kat tried to do damage control, the teenager ran with it and got in trouble with Nathan. This situation spiraled into a showdown between siblings Martin and Kat. Martin was the one who was out of control here, but Kat held her own. She hadn't meant for Samantha to overhear what she said, and when she realized it, she tried to talk to her. But it didn't work. Of course, Kat and Eva confronted each other multiple times, but things grew heated after Kat heard Eva call Ted Dad. As irrational as Kat's thinking was, there was nothing she could do. Ted wanted a relationship with the daughter he had just discovered. Kat would have to learn to deal with it and share, and that wasn't something she was willing to do. And finally, she eavesdropped on Martin and Eva's bonding at Uptown. The two new half-siblings had plenty to say about Kat behind her back. And as a result, Kat had plenty to say to Eva and to Martin. Somehow, Colby Muhammad has a way of creating a character that people want to root for, even as she says and does things that are completely inappropriate and downright vicious. She told Eva that she wished she had never been born, because if she hadn't, they would all have better lives. Most people who say something like that would be canceled, but not Kat. Sure, she has her haters, but she also has devoted followers. Muhammad positively glows as her character goes head-to-head with her enemies. However, she also instills in Kat some self-awareness, so it seems like she's always on the verge of soul-searching, changing her opinions, or being vulnerable. Kat is fierce, loyal, petulant, and larger than life, and Muhammad continually finds ways to breathe life into her storylines. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.